Well, they didn't scrub everything. I don't know if you guys have been looking through the files like I have, but there are pages and pages, hundreds of pages that are just completely blacked out, which is completely illegal. However, they didn't scrub everything because I found something.
One of the e-files slipped through with an unredacted version, and I want to show it to you, omitting certain words so that this video can stay up. This is also about Bill Clinton, and if you see in that first part, it talks about my friend had you-know-what with Clinton and others. So he is just as guilty as anybody else in this and needs to be brought down.
So, we got it. They forgot to redact Trump's name. Here it is. During one of Doe's encounters with Epstein, he took her to Mar-a-Lago where he introduced her to its owner, Donald J. Trump. Introducing 14-year-old Doe to Donald J. Trump, Epstein elbowed Trump playfully, asking him, referring to Doe, "This is a good one, right?"
Hello guys, welcome back to another episode of my social commentary. My name is Ransom Joseph. The DOJ finally dropped the Epstein file, but the internet users said the government hit the part everyone really wanted to see. Hundreds of pages are fully blanked out, entirely files disappeared, and critics from both parties are calling it a cover-up. Let's break it down, what was released and what was hidden. As we dive straight into the video right now, if you are coming across this video for the first time, please do well to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. Follow us for more interesting stories and content about what is happening in the country to pop up your screen. Tell us what you think about this video in the comment section. Like and share the video to help the channel out. You're welcome.
Well, they didn't scrub everything. I don't know if you guys have been looking through the files like I have, but there are pages and pages, hundreds of pages that are just completely blacked out, which is completely illegal. However, they didn't scrub everything because I found something. And don't worry, I have receipts. Here you go. It looks like this was filed in 2020. She was 14 years old. She was 14 years old when Epstein took her to Mar-a-Lago and introduced her to Donald J. Trump. You can read it yourself. Epstein elbowed Trump playfully, asking him, "This is a good one, right?" She was 14. Trump smiled in agreement. I don't want any of you ever again telling me he's not involved in this. Read it yourself, even though they are combing through this, trying to redact any mention of anyone in their club. You can read it right here. Stop lying to yourself. Get on the right side of history.
One of the e-files slipped through with an unredacted version, and I want to show it to you, omitting certain words so that this video can stay up. This is also about Bill Clinton, and if you see in that first part, it talks about my friend had you-know-what with Clinton and others. So he is just as guilty as anybody else in this and needs to be brought down. Now take a look at this third bullet point, though, because this one is the one that got through unredacted. It talks about another friend. One was of many girls that had relations with you-know-who. She confided to me about her casual friendship with him and definitely seemed to have a thing for her. And then it goes on, he liked her, read that in the quotes right there. He liked flicking and you know what, and until they were raw. And one evening they were together and she showed them to me and they looked incredibly painful and swollen. I know she had relations with you-know-who at the New York mansion. That is the tip of the iceberg. That is one of the unredacted ones. There was a redacted version and that unredacted that slipped through. It was not caught because there are thousands and thousands of mentions of this man in these files that even with the FBI working 24 hours a day for like a week, months ago, trying to scrub his name, it was absolutely impossible. How can you read that and not have a sick feeling in the pit of your stomach? How can you look at that man as president and think, yeah, I'm proud of that. I am not defending Clinton and I'm not defending him. I will not defend anybody who is listed in these files and is found to be doing these types of behaviors because that is absolutely unacceptable.
So, we got it. They forgot to redact Trump's name. Here it is. During one of Doe's encounters with Epstein, he took her to Mar-a-Lago where he introduced her to its owner, Donald J. Trump. Introducing 14-year-old Doe to Donald J. Trump, Epstein elbowed Trump playfully, asking him, referring to Doe, "This is a good one, right?" Trump smiled and nodded in agreement. They both chuckled and Doe felt uncomfortable, but at the time, she was too young to understand why. There's a lot more of this kind of material in these files. They forgot to redact his name there, but I'm sure they meant to. But we caught it.
I've gone through thousands of documents and hundreds of photos in the Epstein files, and I found a couple of references to Donald Trump that it looks like they forgot to redact. So first and foremost, do you remember this explosive photo that got released by the Wall Street Journal over the summer where Donald Trump is giving Epstein a check for $22,500, and in the message below the check, it said that Donald Trump was giving it to him to purchase a, quote, fully depreciated woman whose name was redacted? Well, in the newly released files, I found a new photo of Epstein holding that check. You can see it's the same one. Donald Trump's signature, same amount, her name is redacted, and the woman he's standing next to, her face is redacted. And the fact that they had so many photos of this and this was in a picture frame is so disgusting. Next up, it looks like they've completely removed any photos of Trump and Epstein from the files, but it looks like they didn't catch this. This is a picture of the mantle where Epstein kept a lot of his photos in his Manhattan mansion, and if you zoom in on the bottom left, you see the photo of Trump, Melania, Epstein, and Ghislaine that's already public, but look right there. That looks like Donald Trump to me, surrounded by women. So right now I'm going through all these different documents and all these different files, and I will let you know if I find anything significant, but a couple of references to Donald Trump there.
At least 16 Jeffrey Epstein files have disappeared from the US Justice Department's website, including this photograph, which features US President Donald Trump. These files were available on Friday US time, but by Saturday they were no longer accessible, with no explanation or notice from the US government. The Democrats posted this to X, asking the US Attorney General Pam Bondi, "Is this true? What else is being covered up? We need transparency for the American public." This comes after thousands of Epstein files were released by the US Justice Department. They included photographs, documents, and handwritten notes, many of which were undated and provided without context and heavily redacted. And these files pretty much tell us nothing new at all. One of the redacted files is called Grand Jury New York and was 119 pages, pretty much all blacked out. Anything that could have identified potential victims was also redacted. And then there were the photos of the celebrities, including billionaire Richard Branson, Micheal Jackson, actor Kevin Spacey, and the former Prince Andrew. Bill Clinton also features prominently in multiple videos, including this one with him and Epstein's co-conspirator Ghislaine Maxwell and an unknown woman. But Bill Clinton has been linked to Jeffrey Epstein before and has since disowned the friendship. It's important to note that being named or appearing in these files does not imply wrongdoing or criminal activity. But these documents are only a fraction of what the US Justice Department has. What's missing from these files are any FBI interviews with survivors or any internal memos about how they came to their charging decisions. Basically, any information that could help explain how Jeffrey Epstein was able to plead guilty to a minor state prostitution charge in 2008. The White House says it's the most transparent administration in history, but survivors say they're disappointed.
It just feels like a prolonged ache that doesn't need to be dragged out. I just want answers, and I think that a lot of survivors feel that way.
Just so we're perfectly clear how dubious and untrustworthy what the DOJ has released is, you remember this photo, right? Where you can see Micheal Jackson, Bill Clinton, and Diana Ross on an airplane with people redacted. The DOJ wants you to believe that there is something nefarious about this and that it is related to Jeffrey Epstein. It isn't. Here are the images from Getty Images from 2003. See, it says Getty Images down there in the corner. It tells you that this is from a charity event in 2003. The DOJ just went to Getty Images to search for Bill Clinton, bought images, and then redacted faces out and tried to pass it off as something nefarious. You cannot trust anything that this DOJ, this regime does, because they're liars. I mean, this alone should incriminate them because they are trying to pass off things that are easily findable as being nefarious. They're not even a part of the Epstein case at all.
We have some big news right now. There are two specific documents that survivors were looking for, according to Ro Khanna, that were not a part of the release yesterday, and it shows how this was an incomplete release in violation of the Epstein Files Transparency Act. Ro Khanna says that there are two documents. The first is a 60-page indictment allegedly drafted against Epstein before he received that sweetheart deal in South Florida, in which he escaped lengthy prison time, a federal case, etc. The second is a memo justifying that indictment. Now, these aren't the only files that I know that survivors want to see. A number of other files in there, likely interviews of survivors, witnesses, etc., that haven't been released. These are the 302s. Now, when I say they haven't been released, they very well could have been public last night, but they were probably redacted if they were. So either they've been fully redacted or they haven't been released. And so there is this steady drumbeat of more and more information that the Justice Department is refusing to release, and we know it to be true because the survivors are saying this, according to Ro Khanna. Spread the word, follow for more.
Micheal Jackson's former bodyguard says the Trump administration released an intentionally deceptive photograph of Epstein and Micheal Jackson to make it appear like they had ties when they did not. He made this comment on Instagram saying that he was Micheal Jackson's bodyguard when the picture with Epstein was taken. They were viewing houses as Michael wanted to live on Palm Beach so he could be close to his friend Barry Gibb. A real estate agent set up the viewings over the course of a week. They never even knew who Epstein was because he wasn't famous at the time. Epstein, like the other house sellers they viewed that week, wanted a picture with Micheal Jackson. He says he was there with another bodyguard and Michael's doctor at the time, and that was it in 2003. Epstein's house was for sale. It was one of many they lined up to view. Michael never had a clue who he was or the other property owners they met. He concludes saying Michael was recording daily with Barry Gibb back then. This was in 2003. Thanks for fighting for the truth. Epstein was not in his financial circles, all nonsense. Context in this case really matters because without it, the image could be easily misinterpreted. I almost wonder if that was the point. When all of the focus is on one political figure, a common tactic is to flood the information space with confusion to cause a distraction.
Hey, it's me. I'm the problem. It's me. Yeah, so that last video went viral. Let's do it again. 476. You see 476 right there in the Epstein files? Well, isn't that funny? When you go to it, there's nothing there. But that doesn't mean that it's gone because it was originally there, you know, before they fucking deleted it after the fact. So you're probably like, well, what was 476? Oh, there's 476 right there. Again, this is the Google Drive. If you want the link, it's going to be in the comment section. Listen, you're going to have to look for it. I've sent it to like a million fucking people. And this is 476. Now, what this is financials. There's some American Express numbers down here, so I'm not going to fucking zoom in. Not that Jeffrey Epstein's American Express is going to be worth any fuck at this point. But there are quite a few names here. They did blur out a couple of them. You can't really tell what they are. But there's a lot left. All right, credit where credit is due, because on this side of the world, we fucking give credit where credit is due. Talisha is the one who originally sent this to me. I didn't find this on my own, but I am going to blow it up for her. So she's also doing some digging. I appreciate it. Thanks for the heads up. See, it's really that easy. Most of you are going to be like, well, why is this a big deal? And I'm going to say because the Transparency Act says that it's not supposed to be deleted. It's supposed to be there. And this is as clear-cut of a case as you get as them actively deleting files. This piece of paper does not have a victim's name on it. So what's your excuse now?
Welcome back, guys, and thank you for watching the video. I really do appreciate it. The US Department of Justice, DOJ, finally released a batch of documents tied to Jeffrey Epstein's files after Congress passed the Epstein's File Transparency Act, which is a law to make the unclassified files to be public. But the release have been heavily criticized because hundreds of pages are completely redacted, full of black boxes. Hundreds of more pages are partially redacted or missing, and at least 16 files that were briefly posted on DOJ's website, including a photo, vanished from the DOJ's website. Survivors and lawmakers from both parties are now saying that the DOJ has failed to fully comply with the law's mandate of releasing the files, of making the files to be public. Yes, and this is being designed in a way that it will be hard to use, in a way that it will be incomplete, in a way that it will be incomprehensible for us to understand what is in the Jeffrey Epstein's files. I really thank you for watching the video, and down to this point, if you are coming across this video for the first time, please do well to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. Tell me what you think about this video in the comment section so that other people will read your own points and intake in the comment section. Like and share the video to help the channel out. Don't forget to follow us for more interesting stories and content about what is happening in the country to pop up your screen. You're welcome.